Today I'm gonna focus on installing this snorkel looking piece of pipe that will be basically a lead through for the line for the floater. And the other thing I want to mention today is this thing. This is the connection to the pipe. I decided to resign from this one, because this one, even this is the right way to do it, but in my particular case this is going to be better, the plastic one. The inner diameter is much larger, so I don't want to really constrain that flow, you know. This is almost exactly the same inner diameter as the pipe is, so it's not going to get choked. Besides, you know, this is not a right way to do it, to be honest. You should always have plastic threaded into the metal and not otherwise. So this is the weakest link in this case. What, you know, for one person is a fault, for me it's a feature. Honestly, if this pump really has such a kick and really has such power, and this is going to crack, it's a fuse, you know. If this is going to get broken and this is going to get blown, I don't lose much, to be honest. So I would prefer this to get broken rather than the pump, yeah. So this is what I'm going to do today. I'm also thread this one into the pump. One thing more worth mentioning: if you thread this, it's good to add some few drops of you know, thread locker, and moreover, torque it properly. Give it a really strong hold, because even though this one doesn't really, you know, pose such a threat, but if you have a more powerful pump, they have a tendency that they can unscrew themselves out down there, and this is really something that you don't want to do, because then it's there, you know. Maybe you can pull it by the cable, but you know, it's a big problem. Yeah. Okay, now something to keep it contained in the pipe. Probably I'm gonna just cut it and bend this plastic a little bit inside, so it's not going to basically escape. The bottle shouldn't be able to escape from. So if you look at this pipe, this is about 3 meters long, I think 3 or 4 meters even long. I'm gonna attach the pump about the middle of it because I want this to work as a spacer from the bottom, and this is will basically engaging the level switch. So once this will be down there, the thread is going to be tensioned, and the bottle will have to float. It will come from here down to here, let's say, and this is where it's has to stay, and there will be tension on the switch. And once this tension will get released, then the switch will work. So if the level will go down over here, you could ask yourself, why I don't do it, like simply to put a distance and so on. The distance to the level that I want, and put something that is floating on the top of the water. If this thing will go up and down, it will operate constantly, and it will change its state constantly. This can rip the thread, it can many things can happen. But if the system is stable and then it has to go to the unstable stage, I think this is more efficient, and this is fail-safe, meaning the switch is closed, and the switch cannot really fail open, because if the thread will open itself, basically the switch will open the circuit. So the thread would have to be released in order to that to happen. If the thread would operate over there, down there, and then it will get damaged, the float can go as slow as it wants, and it's not going to engage it's not going to trip the switch. Now, one of the things that I want to make myself absolutely sure is that if I will pull anything out of the well, that nothing will stay down there permanently. That's why I want to make like a very strong connections between all the elements, and even the bottle inside, it has to stop somewhere. That's why there is also this wire that is holding the pump. At the same time, it keeps the bottle from sliding out. And right now I want to make sure that if I pull the pipe or the cord, that they will go together with the rest of it, that it's not going to detach itself, and then I would have to, let's say, pull by the cord only, or something like that, risking that everything will end up permanently in the bottom of the well. So okay, first of all, attaching to the this entire assembly, as you can see, I have this two like loops of wire. This is stainless steel wire, it's extremely strong, so I have no doubt that this is the place where I want to have it anchored to. So first of all, you make a simple loop through this, yeah? Then you go back the same way as the first loop. Yeah, very simple. And then you attach this one to the end of this one, and this is not going anywhere, because every time you pull on this cord, it tighten itself by this return loop. So even now, if you would try to pull it away, you will rather rip the rope rather than disconnect the knot. It's a very effective knot. I'm using it all the time. Now, to make myself sure that nothing flaps in the breeze, I'm just gonna add a little bit of tape over here. well, nothing will definitely flatten the breeze 100 meters underground, right? There's no breeze over there. But let's make ourselves sure. I will also protect this one with tape later on, but let's focus on the rope right now, and that is basically by giving ourselves a little bit loose, and then you go slip simply underneath. Okay, now I'm gonna do exactly the same thing. I go under and in, right? So I have two of those, and you repeat it like 5 times, and each loop makes it more second, more stronger. You could say, yeah, but everything is very sloppy on that, right? There is nothing that is kind of gripping to the pipe. I do one more and that's it, that's enough. The only thing that you need to do at the end of it is to tighten it with a tape. And believe it or not, this is enough. Now, really, doesn't matter how much you would pull on this one, it's not going to let go. I'm just gonna cut off the rope, because this rope I'm gonna use also on the other end to attach the other end of the pipe to something on the surface to make myself sure that it doesn't go, slips out of my hand and just and the entire pipe and with everything will fall down. Okay, so I don't know what to think about that at this point. Maybe I should switch it off and rethink the entire concept, because it seems it doesn't work. First of all, kind of a little bit surprising for me, maybe it's something completely normal in that situation, is that the cable, this doesn't show any gravity here. It seems that the pipe basically found it, supported itself on the walls of the hole. You know, I expected that at this point I'm gonna have to pull like crazy, because you know this is the 90-meter mark. So right now the pump is sitting on the bottom, and the pipe is basically standing on it, which is kind of a good thing. Now the other thing that is not so kind of positive in this case is the sensor line, let's call it like that, from the floater. I do not feel that feedback that I would expect from it. I mean, okay, here I feel gravity. Now it feels like a little bit more resistant, and here is a full resistance. Maybe it's working. It's hard to say. Okay, let's take a look on the last glances of the sunset. And okay, so I think with this string I don't really have good conception how could I fix it without pulling out everything, you know, because that'll be I think what I'm gonna do is pull it up to the 65 meter